Hey everyone! I finally made it! Aren't you excited? Oh my gosh! My camera all set up. What a doozy of a day, right? There we go. We're getting set up there. We finally made it. So, hours and hours later than what we were supposed to be on, right? Oh my goodness. So, what a day! What a day! But you know what? It's days like this that show you really what you can do. As long as you stay dedicated and keep that drive burning inside of you, you can do whatever it is that you need to do, right? All right, so if you haven't yet, make sure you swing over to bit.ly whole wheat multigrain bread and grab your free recipe. This is a brand new recipe. Now remember, I don't share out a new recipe with you guys very often. And just like our other free recipes, this one is based on our quick yeast bread baking method that was developed right off of all pioneer baking secret methods. All right, combined with some of my own personal hard-learned lessons, a piece of history throughout the ages, and all combined to make your baking life simpler today in your modern day kitchen. Okay, let's make our bread a lot faster than what we have always been told to do. Right? All right, so I developed that method for you guys to help you conquer some of the problems that you guys were facing in your own kitchens. So go grab the recipe. It's delicious. Even Rocky, my husband, put a stamp of approval on this one. All right, so it is a true whole wheat multigrain bread. Now, if this is the first time you're ever joining me, y'all, whole wheat, I don't know where it is. There's somewhere. Oh, it might even be in here. I don't remember. You're not in the camera there. You're fine. So my daughter's looking for some pictures because we finally got some picture frames, and they're like, "Mom, don't you love us?" Okay, so if this is the first time you have joined me and you're not sure what I mean by a true whole wheat. Like first, like what is going on here with this? Like this is like, what a doozy of a hair. Wow. Whew. So I put my hat on like clear back at like noontime or something this afternoon when I was like taking puppies out, but when I was supposed to be like long before I was even supposed to be live with you guys. So it'd be sometime before noon. And it's just kind of stayed there. So we've got the hat hair of, you know, the century happening here. Okay, so a true whole wheat is when your bread is made up with like 90% whole wheat flour, okay? Now, the whole wheat flour that you get from the store, or not the flour, excuse me, my brain's still trying to catch up from the madness of the day. Yeah. Okay, so most of your whole wheats that you get from the store are actually closer to a 50-50 mix of all-purpose and whole wheat, okay? So my half wheat recipe that I've already shared out with you guys that I've been teaching you over the course of this past year is what I call a half wheat, but it's actually pretty dang close to the equivalent of a whole wheat bread that you get from the grocery store. All right. Now, a true whole wheat, here's the problems you generally run into with a true whole wheat recipe. Okay, I gotta take down all my daughter's CDs. It can drive me bonkers. I can see them. And it's like everywhere. They were drawing me pretty pictures. They were helping. Not the ones in the back, no. I don't know. I have like a box of just pictures up there somewhere. The top corner up there, second shelf maybe. Second shelf in the corner. In the up where the light is. There is a box of just pictures that might be up there with them. It should be in an envelope, like a yellow one. I don't know where the metal one is unless it's in the bathroom. So I forgot where I was at. Well, have all that beautiful fiber, just the good stuff that you need in order to really like keep everything going. Like it helps your digestive tract. It helps give you sustained energy, like long-term energy, because it takes longer to break it down. Whereas your fine white flours don't fall. Your fine white flours, they are so fine that your body doesn't have to do any work to break them down any. So your body just absorbs all those glucoses that are in that flour, just like bam, and it converts over into sugar, y'all. So it actually gives you a sugar high, but it's so fine ground and it's had all of the bran and everything removed from it that it doesn't have like the really good coarse fiber in it that you need in order to keep everything moving nice and slow, or just like nice and smoothly is what I meant. Smoothly. All right. So it like binds up kind of like in your guts. All right. So that drags you down. It like sucks your energy out. And on top of it, you're getting that sugar high, and then you're getting that sugar crash because it just like bam. Oh no, I'll help you find them here later. I don't know. I put them somewhere. On that desk? No, they're not in Sonny's desk. Unless they're in my desk. You can go look. I don't think they're in there. They were up here in an envelope. Like a big envelope. Yeah. So all of the things that I teach you, especially with your, in the bread, it's all about like the nutritional value, because you're making your bread from scratch, from home with your own two hands, my beautiful okay. So have you ever had one of those days where everything just kind of goes nuts? It's been one of those days, if you haven't guessed already. Yeah, it's been one of those days. But you know what? It's okay. So when I went to start this live earlier today, like I just completely down. Like I didn't feel well this morning. My head was just like pounding. And I was like, okay, I still got to go through and fix these few things up to make sure everything's all nice and polished. Just going through crossing the T's, dotting the I's. And I'm like, okay, so I need just a little extra time today in order to finish those last few details and get the video loaded up. Because I already had the video done. Okay, I had everything ready to go for you guys this morning. And then I was like, so I need just a little extra time, and I needed some time to stop and take care of me. Okay, so this is important, y'all. All right, you have to stop and take care of yourself. All right, even when life and everything like mandates that you just gotta like buck it up and just keep on going. It's not necessarily true. Yeah, you've got to stay dedicated. You got to keep on going, but honey, you got to stop and take care of yourself too. Because if you are not 100% healthy, I mean mind, body, heart, soul, you can't show up and be 100% in your life for yourself, for your family, for anyone. Okay? So I took my own advice this morning and I took care of everything that was going wrong with me this morning. Okay? And then I went through and took care of the animals and the kids and getting a few things all straightened up and coming up and dealing with all the things that needed to be finished for this awesome class today, right? And that's when it got even more hairy, okay? So all the links were down, nothing was working, nothing was loading, and I'm like, oh no! So I'd rescheduled. I'm like, oh, that'll be plenty of time to, just tend to myself and get things in order. Well, yeah. Obviously that didn't happen because we're now live at 5 instead. But you know what? Through hard work and dedication and keeping your mindset and everything in the right zone, you can get so much done. So what took me almost a week to put together for you guys in the first place, I just knocked out in like 4 hours. So, yeah. Yay me. I did it. All right. I'm not trying to really brag here, but I want to tell you that no matter what comes your way, you've got this, honey. You've got this, all right? Okay. So take care of yourself. And when you are handcrafting all of your homemade breads, you're putting so much of your heart and your soul. That's magic. Okay? That is actual magic you're putting into your homemade breads. All right? It truly changes the taste and the flavor of your bread. I even told you all this last week. I've told you guys this so many times. The intent that you have when you are baking your homemade bread changes the flavor, changes all the good things that happen with it, okay? It literally makes it taste better, okay? So when you're baking from a place of peace and love and beautiful comfort and all the good things inside of you, it transfers that amazing energy over into your bread, and it actually makes it taste better, okay? It really does. And it doesn't matter at the end if your bread poofs up beautiful or if it only turns out this high. That doesn't matter because of the amazing, beautiful magic that you put into it by pouring your heart and your soul into it with just love, comfort, and peace, and all the amazing things that come from baking your own homemade breads, okay? So, in the video today, I dive into talking about some of the history points. Many of the history points that you might not even know about, such as the gathering of the wild yeast and all of the beautiful ways that they did it, but also all of the actual ceremonies that went along with it. And it's interesting when you get studying history and like different religions and all these fun things, because I love to do that. I love to see the connections that exist in different cultures. Okay, different cultures, different religions, and throughout history. It's just fascinating to me. It's like that giant puzzle that I'm like, oh, I've just got to find where this piece goes. I got to find it. Okay. So when you get looking at them, it's amazing how many times you will see some similarities between different religions, different cultures, and things that they did in order to bake up their homemade breads way back when. Well, they were in the office. Sorry, my love. They were up there. All right. So when you're studying these and you see these similarities all over the board. So I don't recall, well, we're going to say it that way, if I pointed out one particular religion or not. I don't think I did in the video. But the things I talk about in this video can actually be found in multiple different cultures around the world. And it truly is amazing to me, okay? So the act of gathering your own wild yeast. So I don't think I've ever told you this part before. Did you know that the pre-proofing that we do with our bread baking is actually based off of this? It's based off of this and a couple other different types of bread that we do every once in a while, such as like a country loaf. So a country loaf, you automatically do a pre-proof on it, okay? So I learned when we were on the road that I had to do that because we were hand grinding. So I had this little Victorian mill and we hand ground all of our flour, y'all. And it was beautiful. And the taste, oh Lord, it's so good. It's so good. When you can mill your own flour, especially when you're milling it fresh, just before it goes in. So there were sometimes like we literally were milling it as I was making the bread. So like my husband would be over there like grinding it, and then we'd swap off, and one of the kids would take on, and then we'd swap another kid, because you can only do it for a few minutes before your arm just like dies and turns to jelly. Even though our mill actually turns really smooth. It's got a beautiful turn to it. Seriously, I highly suggest having a little Victorian hand grinder on hand just for those days, okay? Because you never know when the power is going to go out or something's going to happen. It is this little tiny compact mill. It's about a foot long, and it's just a few inches around. It's just this little tiny little thing, and I tell you, it works absolutely beautiful. I will, however, point out, by the time you get done milling all of your flour, and especially if you're going to continue to do it on a constant basis, you're going to be one buff honey, okay? You're going to be a buff honey. All right. All right. So, yeah, it's a workout. It's just a continuous workout. It's fun. It's fun. All right. So, when I switched over to hand grinding, though, versus just buying store-bought, my flour was far coarser. Now it was still good on my hands. Like it wasn't rough on my hands or anything like that, but it was a coarser grain, and we didn't do any sifting of it or anything like that. We just dumped the wheat berries in, ground it down, and put it straight into our bread. That was it, okay? But it also gives you a really coarse bread, okay? A dense bread, okay? So the more whole wheat you can use in your bread, more often than not, your bread's going to be a lot more dense, okay? It is. And that's okay. That's not a problem, okay? The only time that you want to really change that is it depends on what you're going to be using that bread for. Now, if you want toast, dense bread is the best. Woohoo! Absolutely delicious. And it is so satisfyingly filling. It fills you up, honey. Like you're satisfied, and it's because you're getting all your nutritional needs, my dear. So you're getting all those whole grains, and you're getting all of the amazing nutrients from the whole wheats and all the different grains and that you're putting into your bread. You're getting all the nutrients from that, and it is jam packed, and it's a beautiful slow release, so it's not like spiking your blood sugar or anything like that. So if you have health problems like I do, I have to be very careful about what I eat or I get very sick. And having control of being able to having the control to be able to really be very mindful about what I'm putting into my body, what I'm giving my children, my husband, my family, my friends when they come over and see me, or perhaps it's their birthday. Guess what I give? I give homemade bread, even on Christmas, okay? And I'll tell you what, quite often, everyone kind of goes goo goo gaga over my bread. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so I'm not trying to like boost myself or anything like that. I'm actually very proud of that. I worked very hard for that. And I want you to find the confidence in yourself to be able to go, yeah, I made that and I can do it again. All right? Because it's beautiful. This is a beautiful thing that you can do on your own self-healing journey. So whether you are actively on a self-healing journey or not, homemade bread is a beautiful way to start adding a little bit of you time into your life, okay? It is a way to just kind of clock out of life for a little bit and just find that beautiful meditation that you need in order. Okay, there's some regular in my desk drawer over there if you want. I know. I've got to fix that rug. It's kind of a dead rug. What are you doing? Okay. Sorry. But yeah, just having that time to just like kind of clock out for like maybe 10 minutes or something and just seriously just clock out and just focus on the things that are important to you, honey. Like it's seriously so good. I'm gonna move this up this way a little bit, like it's showing my messy office. That's okay. All right, so all right, so we're live at 5, y'all, and my whole family's home. So our evening routine is already in the works, but we had to get this done, okay? And I was actually really excited for this. I was so excited to give you guys this class. Oh my gosh, so excited. And like the day is just gone, whoa, nutsy crazy. And my brain's a little, whoop, what's going on? Where it's going 1,000 miles an hour. So I apologize, I'm bouncing all over. But having that meditation time, whether you use it as full-on meditation or if you use it as a way of beating your frustrations out of the day onto your dough, you know what? It's a healing journey, honey. It is. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love teaching homemade breads. Because I see the transformation that happens in you guys. I do. I see that. I see the courage and the confidence that builds in you. I see you go from, being terrified to do it to like showing it off and go, yes, put this out there to the world. Look what I just did. And honey, homemade bread is amazing that way because it gives you that confidence to really go out and do the things that you generally wouldn't do. It gives you the control of what is actually going into your body, literally, and what you're feeding to your family. It's this amazing way of just taking that one little sliver of control back. It's also an amazing skill that you can pass down to your children, to your friends. You can pass this knowledge around, honey. You can make memories with baking bread. Like my favorite one to call out on is this idea of possibly for some of you, it might be almost like a fairy tale, like a made up memory, just a memory that you always wished you had, a romanticized version of maybe what it was like to be with your grandparents and walking into grandma's house and just hear like that beautiful smell of homemade bread in the oven. And the smell itself of homemade bread is instantly comforting. It is like that one smell that can just make all the worries and the cares of the day just kind of melt away. It doesn't matter what's going on. You've got that smell and you're just like, oh, I'm home. I'm home. All right. You've also got, there are the chant, it's coming out wrong. Tongue ain't working anymore. All right. And then what if Grandma actually lets you come into the kitchen with her and help make the bread side by side? Like that amazing feeling of just plunging your little tiny hands into that dough side by side with Grandma and looking up with her and just seeing that beautiful, gorgeous smile of hers and all that pride that just shone through her eyes looking down at you and just how that made you feel inside. Now, I can tell you as a mom, I've seen that look on my own kids' face. And it does. That look of just absolute happy and just them being proud of what they've done, them being so excited to do it side by side with you, that chance for them to show you what they can do without judgment or without any instructions or anything like that. You don't even have to exchange words. They just have this instant glow and pride to them. And that, seeing that in my children's eyes of, Mom, look what I did. That right there, oh, honey, I'm done. Clock me out. I'm happy. I've done my job as a mom that day. Okay? I gave my kid an opportunity to learn something. I gave my child the chance to have this beautiful memory where there was no wrong in the world. Okay? In that one singular action, my child not only developed skills, but also learned how to be confident and proud of themselves without having to look to somebody else to know that they were proud. They didn't have to ask me if I was proud of them. They didn't need the validation of someone else being proud of them. They were just proud of themselves. And that is an amazing, amazing feeling, my friend. And the beautiful thing with baking your own homemade breads is you have that opportunity to create that memory for others in your life. It doesn't matter if they're a child or an adult, all right? It really, truly doesn't. Those little things that we can do that can, better others' lives, it's kind of a selfish act. It is. It's a little bit of a selfish act because we might be in a way doing it for them, but we're also doing it because it makes us feel amazing. It is amazing. It is. Okay? And if you haven't caught my talks on selfishness, I have 2 definitions of selfishness, okay? Because you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of everyone else around you in order to truly show up 100% in the moment in their lives. Because if you, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, are not 100% healthy, which none of us are, by the way. None of us are, okay? It's a work in progress for all of us, all right? I want to make that very clear, okay? But if you don't feel healthy in one of those areas, you can't actually show up 100% for those that need you. Which means you've got to stop and actually put them on the back burner as much as possible. And two limitations, there's limitations there. And take care of yourself first. You have to take care of yourself. And when you start taking care of yourself, you're actually going to find that you've got more energy in order to show up for them. When you start taking care of yourself first, you physically can do the job better. You mentally can get through the job faster. Such as the example of today. Putting this entire class together and everything that goes along with it took me a week. And I had to go through and redo everything this morning and afternoon in a matter of 4 hours. I knocked out the entire thing. And that's impressive. That's impressive. Even for me, that's impressive, okay? And I do this quite often. But when you're in a healthy mind state, you can do those things and your brain just works faster. It's not all boggled up with all the fog. It's not worrying about, hey, guess what? I still got all those boxes sitting in such and such's room and I really got to go take that all down to the DI, or, I've really got to get this all organized and I've got to take care of this and this and this. You're not bouncing all over with your thoughts. You're just focused on the one thing in front of you. And baking homemade bread actually teaches you how to do that. It does. To be present in the moment. to not be worrying about all the things happening. All you're doing is you're just focusing in on that beautiful bread and the process of making it. You're letting out all those bent up emotions as you're like kneading it and letting all that anger and that frustration out. And by the time you're done, you are then in a closer position to a place of Zen. Okay? It's meditating. And it helps you all the way through. It helps you mentally. It gives you a physical workout. It feeds you nutritionally wise. And it's comforting to the heart and the soul and everything else. Bread is magical that way. So even if you are baking angry, by the time you get done, you're not angry anymore. And all of that negative energy that you may have been putting into your bread unintentionally or possibly intentionally has been transformed into something beautiful instead. Okay? Which actually improves the flavor of your bread once again. Now, if you're baking bread and just in a complete blasé mode and just doing it because you have to, it's going to be different. If you don't actually enjoy the process, it's going to be different. Okay? It is. It's just going to be different. Your bread, yes, it's still going to be delicious. It's still homemade and you put all of your time and effort into it, but it's not going to taste quite as amazing as if you actually go on a journey while making your bread, or you start out at just like in a place of just zen and happiness and peace and love. You start off in that place. By the time you get done, your bread's going to taste like magic. It's absolutely delicious. It is superb, okay? So the point is, y'all, be kind to yourself, okay? Give yourself the compassion that you would give to anybody else. The same level of respect that you would give to anyone else. If it were your kid that made the bread for the first time by themselves, like, what would you do? Like, how would you react? If this is your first time baking bread and you get done, give yourself the same reaction. Treat yourself as if you are another living, breathing human being, not just a reflection of all of the worst parts of yourself. Okay? And I get it. It's hard. It's hard. It is hard to do that. But my hope is, as you're baking your homemade breads, that you're able to find a level of peace and happiness in yourself. Because you know what? Every one of you deserve to have a life that is filled with happiness and love inside it. And I mean love and happiness and health inside you. Like actually in you, okay? And when you have happiness and health inside yourself, you create happiness and health in your life. And by following your heart and doing those things that you are truly passionate about and learning those new skills, or such as baking bread, that is a really old traditional skill, but there's always a new way to do it. There's always a new thing that you can make. There are endless numbers of breads out there that you can start baking. Once you know the key points to baking bread, you can make anything, okay? Now, there are some breads that take hours and hours to make. There are some breads that take weeks to make, and that is okay. Whatever the bread it is that you love to make, I want you to keep doing it, okay? And I want you to stick with it. Even on those hard days when you're just like, can I get any more nuts? Really? Instead of taking that mindset and letting it beat you down, put you in a crap mood, and just make you want to walk away and not be bothered by it. Try turning it around and see what you can learn from it. How you can change your perception on it. Instead of getting upset about it, really just ask yourself this one question. What can I learn from this? How can I do this different? Well, two questions, I guess. And that depends on what it is that, that you're facing. It's either what can I learn from this? Even if it's something you've done a gazillion times before, or you've heard it 1,000 times before. There's always something new that you can learn from it. Okay. And then there's always another way to do it. There's not always another way that you can rework it, or you can reschedule everything, such as live at 5 instead of 10:30 a.m. Live at 5 here at Milled Artistry, Home Bakers Edition. But it's just funny. Like, today's just been a funny day. Like any other day, at any other kind of mood or setting that I would be in, I would have just been flat out angry. I would have. But I'll tell you what, as you're going through a self-healing journey, such as I've been for many years now, and you finally cross some of these last remaining borders in your life that have been holding you back, and you can't even put a name to what they are, but you finally are able to release them and just walk away and let them stay in your past and look forward and be present in the moment. It's magic, guys. It's really magic, okay? But it puts you in a place where you can really reevaluate and look at things in the true manner of what they're showing up as. Was it frustrating that all of my links were down this morning? Absolutely. Was I kind of going a little nuts for a second, trying to figure out how I was going to work it all out? Absolutely. Was I going, maybe I should just cancel today? Absolutely not. Today was going to happen. It was going to happen. I missed my lives yesterday with all of my jewelry making. I wasn't missing my bread making. And I'll be making it up to all my amazing jewelry lovers of y'all out there tomorrow because there was no way I was going to fit it into today. But that's the beauty of it. You are in control, honey. You're in control of your life. You can change those things around. All right? So instead of what was supposed to be happening yesterday due to all of my tech problems that I was having, they're now going to be coming out on Friday because there was no other way to do it. All of the stuff that was supposed to be coming out here inside to you guys here in the group and even on our main pages and everything else across everything that was supposed to be out like first thing this morning didn't happen. But you know what? It has happened now. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go grab the brand new whole wheat multigrain bread recipe. It's delicious. Okay? Brand new. I just barely finished this one, guys. Seriously. I just finished this one and it's awesome. It is absolutely delicious. Now, I will tell you, I'll give you one little warning though. Make sure that you put the amount of wheat in that is in the recipe, okay? And then only add the white after that point, okay? Or the all-purpose flour, okay, right? So the first time I made this, it pooped up beautiful, okay? Beautiful. And the second time I made it, it turned out more like a Mrs. Green bread, okay? So my old Mrs. Green style bread. So that's a super, super, super dense bread. That, oh man, it's probably been like 2 years since I taught you guys that one. It was just one that I shared out one time. And, oh man. So really tasty. But yeah, this last time I made it, it wasn't. But I'd added additional oatmeal. Plus, I think I added probably a full another cup of whole wheat flour to it. I didn't count it off. I was just mixing the dough until it got to a certain texture, which I often do. I just mix it to a certain texture, then I start adding my white in. Well, in the process of doing that, I ended up with 4 loaves, and it was a very dense whole wheat bread. Delicious, absolutely delicious still, but it didn't get that nice poofy bread bread rays that everybody loves so much, okay? So now, this is the first time you're joining me. I like dense bread. I like that old-fashioned dense bread. I do. I do. There's something so satisfying about it. But I know that in most cases, you don't want that. All right. So it's amazing for snacking on. It's amazing for making toast and serving with soup. That thick, dense bread is gorgeous there. However, if you're making sandwiches, it's not so gorgeous because there's like no give to the bread when it's that dense. Okay. So make sure you follow the recipe. Okay. First off, and always follow the recipe, no matter what, who or what you're making. Always follow the recipe because because the individuals that created the recipe have already gone through all the trials and errors of making the recipe to begin with. So they already know all the what not to do stuff, and they've given you all the best tips and advice for the best results. Okay, so don't go through and just automatically start trying to make it, yeah, just like that. All right, so just in case, if anyone's leaving any comments, I can't see them because I just realized I didn't have another device over here to like look. Okay, so I'll come back and I'll catch any of your guys' comments when the replay comes out. Okay, all right, so follow the recipe. Okay. And after you've made it a few times, if you want to change something, that's about the time that you start changing it. But you got to learn the basics. You've got to get the basics and the skills like down pat. Okay, then you can start changing things around. All right, so if you want your bread to poof up and make delicious sandwich bread, and this bread, like when it poofs up all beautiful like that, and all the beautiful, amazing parts of it, this bread doesn't dry out, okay? It stays that beautiful, perfectly moist and dense, okay? Like it's light, it's fluffy, but it's dense at the same time because I teach a denser bread. That's just how it is. I teach denser breads, okay? All right, so follow the proofings, okay? Very important. Do your pre-proof. After you go through and do all of your kneading, set it to the side and let it proof for 5 to 10 minutes, okay? Now, the longer you let that proof right there, that one proof right there is really going to set the stage on how high your bread rises, okay? All right, and then after you get it all formed up and get it into your pans, let it proof again, all right? And for the best results, raise it in your oven. Give it a good mist with clean water, okay? Don't cover it with plastic or anything like that. Set it in your oven, in a warm oven, either with a proof setting on or just kick your oven on for no more than 60 seconds. Turn it off and then put your bread in, okay? And it'll be good. Along with a shallow pan of boiling hot water in the bottom of your oven. Mist the bread down really good. Let it rest and proof for 20 minutes, okay? 15 to 20 minutes. You do have to keep an eye on it. If you're in high elevation like we are, do not open that oven door again, okay, my love? So after it gets all raised up, just kick your oven light on and like take a glance in, okay? As long as it's raised up above your pan, it's good to start baking, okay? So kick your oven on to 400 degrees. And after it reaches temp, then turn your timer on for 10 minutes, okay? Then turn it down to 380 to bake for another 10 minutes. And that's also a good time to go ahead and rotate your pans around so that you get a nice, good, even bake on your bread. On your bread. Oh, I tell you, my tongue is no longer working, y'all. It's just not working. Okay, so we've got to get this wrapped up. Like, you guys have got stuff going on. You're probably getting ready to sit down for dinner. I'll get the replay posted back out for you. And if you want to continue this conversation, come join me over on our main page on Milled Artistry, and I will be continuing this conversation on over for everyone over there. Okay, so grab your recipe. Once again, it is at bit.ly, bit.ly/whole wheat multigrain bread. Okay, that's your free recipe. It's brand new. I just went through and reworked everything. It was kind of a quick fix, but I reworked everything, so you should be getting your links right away and all the good stuff, okay? So grab your free recipe and then swing over to our YouTube channel and watch the video where we'll dive into some of the magic. We'll dive into a little bit of religion and history and all the bread baking and wild yeast gathering, which is right where pre-proofing or the process of pre-proofing actually originated at. Okay, and I will walk you through step by step, and we're gonna have a little fun. I did things a little bit differently this time, and honestly, I had a lot of fun shooting this particular video. So I hope you guys like it, and if you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe to Milled Artistry, even on our YouTube channel, just because you don't know what's ever going to happen with social media sites, okay? Which is a big reason why I always encourage you guys to make sure you grab your free copy of the recipes, because if anything happens, I can still give you all the help that you need. I can get you all the recipes and the trainings and all the beautiful things through email, okay? Because you never know what's going to happen on a social media site. All right. So just in case, y'all, because it happens all the time. All right, my dears. So make sure you subscribe, like, share out the videos, to anyone that you think would find value to it. And we will see you next week, my dears. If you have any more questions, please make sure you drop them down below and I will get them answered just as quick as I can. All right, honeys, have an amazing weekend. It's almost the weekend. Yay. See you guys.